What's up, Nerd Crew? Nurdie J here, along with
Ben.
And today we are going to do some pickups from the con, and I believe we're planning on doing a reaction, if I'm right, about what the con was like for each of us.
I have to admit first, and I still suffering under a cold. It kind of went through blur for me because I was on high on cough drops and allergy medication. But I do remember. I'm not saying I completely forgot, like high, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was I actually kind of did have fun.
Yeah, it was kind of fun too. We only went the one day, unlike how we were planning on doing 2 days, because he was sick, and that essentially we just didn't feel like we would have enough. What is it called? Like, not motivation, but like enough energy to get through another day of it.
Also, most of the stalls were just not what we wanted.
Yeah, like, when I was there, they had walls and walls of Funko Pop.
Like Funko Pop, people that do drawing, which they're talented. I'm not saying anything against them, but they're really, really talented. They draw awesome art. They do awesome wood carving. They laugh, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff that weren't me and JD are not into.
Right. And I was there for toys, he was there for video games, and even with the toys, they didn't really have much of what I'm into either, so, which is really weird, because the first con that we went to had, like, everything that we could ever want, plus some. This time, it was just kind of like, it was good, but could have been better.
Yeah,
for us, personally.
It's still a worse time through, but to us, it wasn't good enough for a 2-day thing.
And while we're at it, the con we are talking about, let me see if I got the little flyer they gave me. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. The con we are talking about was the Grand Comic Con.
In the Grand Island Nebraska area.
Right. And it was April 21st. That was the movie through the 23rd. So the 22nd and 23rd was more of the events and stuff. And this was the little poster flyer they were handing out. So I grabbed one so I could show you all what it was.
The other one was like a space.
It was not Land Before Time. It was the Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
Picture, which was really weird. It didn't really have anything to do except for like in the corner it said the Comic Con. So
yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny that they had like a lot of stuff around everywhere that had the Land of the Lost on it.
Yeah, and so how about we just go through a sequence of events on what we did? I wish we could have showed you some video, but we weren't feeling quite right, so we didn't do a video, or else we would do an overlay during this segment. But I decked myself out in Transformers gear. And
I just wore everyday clothes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was just not. I wanted to be there, but I was just not there.
Yeah, so I was gonna have him take a video of me, but I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to see a fat guy decked out and stuff. So
I don't think anybody wanted to hear me go.
Yeah, he was kind of a little worse for wear at that point, but
and I know we could have said, well, you could have muted the audio and just showed the picture.
We weren't thinking that way.
Yeah, we weren't thinking. We were there at the con. We were thinking of con.
Yeah, we were like, let's get this con and let's do it. And maybe with a little more experience, we'll get to doing that.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, this was the first year I dressed up, well, not as anything per se. I wore my Maximal shirt, a Transformers jacket, Beast Wars pants, and Transformers shoes. And so I was just decked out in just random Transformers memorabilia, but yeah, first thing that when we got in there, I was pleasantly surprised. I saw a booth for Star Trek stuff.
Well, before we start that, we kind of had trouble getting in first.
Oh yeah.
We bought the VIP tickets. They let you in a half an hour early, blah blah blah, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody knew where to go.
Yeah, the doors were locked, and people were constantly going in, trying to get in, but the doors were locked. They went around to where the vendors usually show up at. They were denied access there because the front doors were supposed to be unlocked, and Ben and I just camped out at the front doors for a little bit, and somebody finally showed up.
It was like super windy and everything like that, so it wasn't like windy like windstorm, but windy like the wind was blowing.
Yeah.
And they had like no signs on the doors. They had like he said, people were going back and forth trying to get in. And then we, on the stroke of luck, had one lady come and said, "What are you here for? Are you here for the con?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're here for the early bird special because we got the VIP ticket." JD says.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, oh yeah, you're supposed to come through here." How are we supposed to know?
Yeah, plus there was no sign saying this is where the con was. It was just on our tickets where the con was. And that the doors were locked. How were we supposed to know they were even available for the early bird special stuff?
That's the only big major, like the huge major thing we had against.
Yeah, we got in there pretty easily once we got in. And like I said, the first thing that caught my eye was the Star Trek booth. It was the very first year anything Star Trek related was there. And it was like this big booth right at the corner.
Me, on the other hand, I was like, okay, where's the table set in case we need to? Okay, they're right there by the concession stand.
Yeah, because of our ailments, my neck's swollen, he's got some leg issues.
Some sinus issues, yeah.
Yeah, and also he was sick on top of that.
Like I said, I'm still a little bit underneath it, so if you hear my voice change a little bit, that's pretty much the reason why.
And so we were like, okay, I noticed the Star Trek booth, he noticed where we were going to meet together if we ever needed to.
Yeah.
Take a break and stuff. So, with that said, besides the Star Trek booth, there wasn't much for me at all.
Yeah.
But did you notice anything right out the gate?
Like, we know it's called Comic-Con, so it's mostly for comics.
Yeah.
Like, we know that. We're not, like brain dead in that department or anything. But we, just couldn't find anything that we wanted, because I'm not a big have to have a picture or have a statue kind of fan, and Jay is not much of a Marvel or DC kind of person.
Yeah, I do like him. It's just I don't collect anything from him.
Like my favorite superheroes: Iron Man, Hulk,
Deadpool,
yeah. And
that's like your number one.
My favorite villain is Joker, pretty much.
And me, I'm primarily either Tokusatsu or Transformer based. So
the thing is, I'm not going to go out on my way to collect a poster of him or a statue or a anything like that.
You came close though with coming home with probably a picture. Remember the 8-bit guy, the 16-bit guy?
Yeah, but then I found out he was selling them both for $80.
Yeah, and so we're like, no.
They're cool, but I don't want to put $80 piece of paper on my wall.
Right, because as far as I can tell, none of them were canvas.
Yeah, so. I was no disrespect to that guy. I'm not saying it takes a long time to do that stuff, because I tried to do it in high school. Mm-hmm. Even with that goofy graph paper, it takes forever to do.
Yeah.
Because in each square, you also got to figure out where the colors are in them too. So you can't just I'm going to paint this one blue, I'm going to paint this one green, I'm going to paint this one... No. It's there's some certain things where the corner's white and corner's bluish white and...
Yeah. There's an actual system for it.
So don't think I'm telling these people they're bad.
Yeah, because there was this one that I really wanted to get a Optimus Prime, it was a little kid Optimus Prime, but he drew them as if Optimus Prime was in a play school thing. Not play school, but preschool or something, and I thought it was really awesome, but I'm thinking, where would I put that? Already, my walls are lined with shelves of Transformers. I don't really have any space for
that. Yeah, I like video games, but I'm not going to really go out my way to collect everything video games. I like video game,
So, but we did not come home empty-handed, though. Would you want to start with the pickups, or do you want to talk some more?
I guess we'll pick up videos.
All right, so we're doing the pickups now. And so we didn't come home empty-handed. I'm going to let Ben start because he picked up a little more than I did. And so we'll start with him.
Okay, for my first item I picked up for $10, pretty much. It's nothing, that's remembering, I'm not saying anything, this is the value of a lot or anything like that. I picked up Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. Now I know there's a Switch version of 3D All-Stars for the Switch. I do have that, and I just wanted an actual copy of it too. like the actual copy of the game. So I saw it for $10 at some guy's booth, and he said, "Yeah, sure, it's yours." And I think that's where it is. Oh, okay. It comes with the manual, the disc in really good condition, and it works. So I had to pull the dusty Wii U out, and that was fun. It works. It's really, really awesome. It's like Mario, and it's like their very first 3D-ish Mario, where you go like galaxy way, where you can walk upside down, you can jump different little planets and stuff like that. So really, really good.
So my first pickup of the day, I just happened to glance, and I'm like, wait, it's the only GoBot thing I could find. And I got a combination of Courageous, which is the power suit combiner, and which is the white one with the blue jet, like this one. But for some reason, the seller was also selling in the same pack the grungy parts. I think that's who it is. It's called grungy with the black hands and the black limbs.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I got it. He was asking for $15 for it, and I'm like, would $10 cover it? He's like, hey, as long as it makes you happy, he was fine with it, and yeah.
And it made him happy.
Yeah.
He was like giggling when he got back to the car for lunch and stuff.
Yeah, because it's just like, you can hardly find GoBot stuff anywhere, so.
Because they had food at the concession stand, but we're not paying $7 for nachos.
Yeah, or like $6 or something for a hot dog.
We're talking about like stadium nachos, where they just put that little nacho cheese sauce in the little container, and you get a whole bunch of yellow chips.
Yeah.
So, my turn.
Yeah.
Next thing I picked up. I don't remember the price of this, so like I said, it's just
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, if it pops in their head.
I picked up for Nintendo Switch twin pack for Final Fantasy. That's Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 for the Switch, and they're made remastered style. So they're the same game, like that you play on the PS3. I mean, not PS3, PS1, because it's back then.
Yeah.
And but it has like things like a full HP modification. You can play the game 4 times fast to get through some parts. You can unlimited health, limited stuff like that.
So it's not like a pixel perfect redo or anything like that?
It's an emulation of the original, but it has modifications in it.
And it is official?
Yeah, it's official.
So it's an official emulation?
Yes.
Weird.
It is. The reason why it does not have the thing that tells you what the rating is,
yeah,
it's because it's so.
Okay. So that was kind of
comes in this small cartridge. I don't know if you guys can.
Don't worry about that. We'll be taking pictures and overlaying it, so there should have already been pictures up here. So.
But if you need to see it, that's what it looks like.
So
okay.
Another thing that I grabbed was these two things. I grabbed a Transformers Legacy Evolution Metahawk and Twin Cast, which I've been a fan of Twin Cast for a long time now, ever since the first reissue came out, and so been a fan. And I've always wanted a Metahawk of some sort, and they're going to be up on the collection at some point. But couldn't find them in any store. And luckily, the guy that does have a toy store in town, it's the only toy store we have, had these. And so I'm like, okay, it's a little bit more than I want. So instead of like $33 and some change, it was $35 for each. And I'm like, you know what? Still within price.
Right.
So I grabbed them. Your turn.
Next thing I picked up at the con, I picked up Mega Man Legacy Collection. Sorry, the Mega Man Battle Collection is the newest one out. But I got Mega Man Legacy Collection, which has Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in it from the Nintendo era.
You could have just said 1 through 6.
Oh. Saves time. Save time saver. It's like the Final Fantasy I showed you earlier. It has all the games in it, and I think that's somewhere it's in here. It has the little booklet, or it has, put it in, you can get soundtrack for the game. And what's awesome is, it comes with a little, like, lamination card that tells you like what weapon you get from them, what's their weakness from the game and stuff.
That's cool.
And I needed it because back in the past it got taken from me, and I needed another copy of it.
So,
Did he?
all right. Yeah, you had something taken from me. Mine just before the con. Actually, the Friday the con started.
Right.
My original buzzsaw from Legacy just shattered on me. Just the day before the con. I was transporting them because I was transforming everybody into robot mode. And just all of a sudden, his wings didn't pop off. They just fell in my hand. And the balls were still into the socket. Found out the black paint that they used started eating the thinner parts.
Okay.
And not only were the wings broken off, but somehow the plastic hinge that was in the middle, I think it was plastic because he just fell in half.
Huh.
And it was only the 7th time I transformed the guy. So it wasn't very long, and so I had to pick up another one, and he was for sale, so why not? Since I love buzzsaw. So.
Did you get a good price for that?
Not really, because the one that I did get initially was only $8.
Like the first one?
Yeah, the first one that I had was only $8 at Walmart.
Right.
It was on clearance. This was the original price at $20, and I couldn't budge on. They wouldn't budge on it because they had to make some money on it. So
was it one of those corporate?
it was the same person that I bought these from.
So.
No, KO Toys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't budge on the price because even though it's a Walmart exclusive, he doesn't work for Walmart or didn't know about Walmart stuff, so he didn't know about it. And he's like, "Well, this is how much I paid for it. I can't really budge, or else I won't be making any money off of it."
That's the difference between corporate and small businesses. Because there's people that sell things, they're like resellers, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where they'll make a deal with you, stuff like that. But the corporate ones, they have to go with the business.
And since they ran a business in town, they couldn't really.
Yeah.
And since they just started because they were forced to move out of the mall just recently, and they had to do a startup again for their current location.
Right.
I totally understood. So
that's what we mean about corporate stalls. We're not saying that.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah.
Well, I picked up for everything I thought it was for the PS4 at the time. I picked up for the PS5 is Resident Evil 8. Yeah, 8. Resident Evil 8 Village, and it apparently got the PS5 version, and it comes with everything: the manual, the disc, and everything.
Wait, it has a manual?
Oh, I call it a manual.
Oh, okay, so it has an
But
insert.
it comes with the disc and the case and all that good stuff. Like I said, this is before I got my new system, the PS5. And I was like I said, I was really kind of not high, but disoriented when purchasing at that table. And I'm like, oh, okay, this must be the PS4 game. Oh, the PS4 game to Resident Evil Village. And then I was looking for that, and I could never find it at Walmart. So I'm like, I'll pick it up. And then when I got to the car, I just noticed the big white line that says PlayStation 5. I'm like, ah, shit.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
Crap packets.
So my turn?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do another 2-for-1 type of situation, just like the last one. So I picked up less than him, but essentially some of these were 2-for-1, and I don't really know how to do it without being a 2-for-1 while showing it.
Right.
But there was a seller, and in a bin, they had this steel bane from the, which movie is this?
Fallen Kingdom or something like that?
Last Night, actually.
Oh, okay.
This is from the Last Night. I didn't remember because it kind of looked like an Age of Extinction box to me. But so this Last Night I got for $10, and they tossed in for free a deluxe Windblade from Transformers Cyberverse, I believe. No, Robots in Disguise, actually. And so I got this for free. They were initially selling it for $1, but I asked if $10 would do, and they were like, yeah. Whatever made me happy kind of situation.
So what does the night guy change to?
So this night guy turns into a dragon.
Okay, because to me, on my side, it looks like a wolf.
And it looks like it, yeah, it's sealed in, it's not only sealed in box, but it's got this nice little, you can tell it's never been opened because of this thing is still there.
Right.
That little band. So, same as her. She's never been opened either. It's just that the box is just worse for wear. So.
Alright. My turn?
Yeah.
I picked up an oldie but goodie, and another game I wanted to look for is a game called Parasite Eve. It's based on a Japanese scientist type book. I don't know 100% exactly, so you'll have to quote me on that. It's about it's like mitochondria, something like that.
Hypochondriac?
Yeah, something about your cells that want to evolve, but we have like membranes to keep them from going haywire and all that stuff like that.
Okay. That's not hypochondriac, but
anyway, but it's weird. It's weird. It's Square Enix. Square Enix answered to Resident Evil at the time, because they tried to hold my beer. This is how we're gonna do this, and stuff like that. So they tried to make it, but they also made it an RPG kind of way. I picked up for $60 at a friend of mine's booth. The only thing that's missing actually is the manual, and I need to get a new case for it, and I need to be resurfaced a little bit, because this one in the demo disc, but that's hard to come by the way. The demo disc, which has games from it's back before we had to download them all, that they just put them on disc and everything, and I just have to piece one part of it together, and then pretty much got the game. And it's the regular version, because they have greatest hits version. When they sell over 1 million, they get the greatest hits version comes out later, and so people can play more of the game stuff.
Oh, sorry. So back then they would modify it if it was the greatest hits too.
So I was kind of happy I found it. JD?
All right. I'm running low. So I went to a mom and pop stand, and I happened to find Earth Defense, what's his name? Earth Defense Red Alert from Transformers Cybertron back in 2005.
Okay.
And it is 99% complete. And the reason why I say it's 99% complete is that normally it would come with a key that you would just insert to this slot back here, right here.
Right.
You would insert it, and it would just make the rocket, not to do that, but it would make the rocket
launch.
Do that.
Huh.
Just by pushing a little lever, it would do that. And usually the center part of the vehicle is usually missing on loose samples that I've been finding on eBay and stuff.
Right.
Not only does it include this, but it also includes its two accessories. A claw accessory in this leg, and a hammer accessory that's got a spring in it, so it's more like a piston.
Okay.
And this leg. So it is 99% complete minus that key.
Alright.
And I've been wanting this since I moved down my mom's place about, I want to say the 2000s, later 2000s, and I couldn't get this guy back. So, I finally got him, and he's one of the 3 that I really wanted from Cybertron, so.
Okay.
So glad I got him. Your turn.
Okie dokie. I got a game that I've never played in a long time in the past. About maybe 6-7 years old. And I thought it was really fun. But then I remember now when I was testing it to see if it works and everything, because one of the pawn shop had a booth there, so you have to sometimes double check the stuff you get. And it's a game called Bump and Jump. It's a really fun game, actually. The only thing I don't like about it is that you have to hold up on the Nintendo controller, Nintendo Entertainment controller, and they're good built, but they're shoddy kind of.
They also hurt your hands after a while.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because they're just squares, rectangles, but there's no curvatures on them.
You have to keep pushing forward to go so fast, because otherwise you just go 60 miles an hour, and in that game it's just just very slow.
Uh-huh.
And you have to bump everybody off the road and crash into the light car. And then you have to push A whenever there's a jump thing coming up, because if you don't, you fall into water and you lose your life. And I forgot this game is really hard. And the reason Nintendo games are really hard is because they found out that people are renting games and not buying games.
Right.
So they like, okay, well, we're going to make them fun, but we're going to make them ridiculously hard. So they because they do get a little percentage if you rent them.
Mm-hmm.
So they made them hard, so that way you end up having to rent them like 3-4 different times just to beat the game.
That would be like why Karate Kid is so hard, and only have 4 levels.
That's the reason why retro games are hard.
Yeah.
So because it's money, and they want to make the money off of the games.
Now, am I wrong? Is there 2 apostrophes in that title?
Pretty much, yeah.
After the P and bump, and then another one after the A? That's weird.
It's a fun game for like 5 minutes till your age. I remember when I was like a kid, it was super fun.
So, not only am I a fan of Transformers and Go Bus, but I also like Digimon. And one of my favorite Digimon is Tailmon, also known in America as Gatomon.
Yep.
And they happen to have a statue of not only my favorite Digimon, but my favorite Digidestined along with her. They call it Hikari, let me see, Tagami? No, Yagami. Hikari Yagami. Instead of Hikari Kamiya.
They had my favorite, but it had Agumon. Mine's not Agumon.
Yeah, his is Black War Greymon.
Or War Greymon.
Yeah.
That way.
And they had Gatomon with Hikari, and so essentially, I was not happy that they had it for $50 there. And this is from a store that I really hate.
It's another corporate stall.
Worse than corporate, because they'll take advantage of you. Because they already had it. This is like about $35 to $40 statue on average.
Yep.
And they were charging $50 for it. I'm like, okay, fine. You know, if I did a bundle deal, would you be willing to take $10 off along with it? They're like, no, it'll be $50 for it no matter what. Then I'm like, fine, whatever. I'm only going to find it here. I haven't seen it in town at all. And so it's like either get it now or lose it for a good while. And so I picked it up. They're like, oh, by the way, we're going to charge you tax on top of it. I've never heard of a con that charged tax like that.
Yeah, you do not do that at cons.
And so they charged me a tax, and they were like, okay, so it'll be 53 and some change. And I'm like, okay, well, here's that. I was going to hand them the money. They were like, what's this? We told you it was 57 and change. So, and like I said, it's a store that I hate, and we have one in town, and I just really hate them.
I just go there for games and stuff. I don't go there for the cards and all that other stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not a fan of that store, but I'm like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime type situation for me.
Right.
Finding anything Digimon at the con in the first place. Yeah. On top of that, my favorite Digimon, which is Gatomon.
That's the problem with delivery / finding a store.
Yeah.
The delivery you get it cheaper, but you literally have to wait.
Yeah, and also sometimes you have to pay for shipping too.
And it might be a risk, sometimes, because you might get damaged, you might get stuff like that. But if you get a store, you can just take it home, it's protected, it's calling your place right now, and you might spend a little more.
Yeah, there was a little more, but then that was like almost $20 more. So,
my turn?
Yeah.
Now I picked up a game called Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, which I'm looking for the Mega Man X games. Not so much as Mega Man games, so like the one I showed you earlier, but I still love them, don't get me wrong. But I grew up with Mega Man X. I love those games. But here's the kicker. There you are. Things for later. That it came with the manual, but it came with a completely wrong game.
What game was it?
Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, which is an RPG, which I love RPGs. Not strategy much, but it's another Final Fantasy game, and I didn't notice that until like I said about the Resident Evil game. I didn't know that until I got to the car and checked it.
Yeah.
So when you buy something from the con, make sure to check it before you buy it.
Yeah, because the same person that he was buying that from had tons of Final Fantasies, too, for sale.
So, it's back to the Mega Man game. It's a really fun game. It's an imagination. It's a remastered, like, chibi version of the regular Mega Man X game for the Super Nintendo, where they, if you see the chibi version, that's what I was trying to say. So it's a really fun game. It's the same game. If you beat it, you can play as Vile, which is one of like the mini bosses in the game. Like he's the guy that rides in the big machine in the very first stage.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like it has different abilities, different weapons, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was like kind of confused, like why didn't you just use Zero? Like everybody loves Zero. Why didn't you use Zero? Oh, you wanted to be different. So, Katie?
Alright, I'm actually at my last one since I had to double up on some of them.
Right.
So I'm on my last one. So at the end of the day that we went to the con, we decided to just do one more check to see if there was anything else we wanted to come across. Well, I happened to come across the same mom and pop shop that sold me the Earth Defense Red Alert, and I noticed they had the original version of Red Alert from Cybertron as well. He is not complete. He's missing, I'm pretty sure in the legs he's missing a hammer and one other accessory because there's like gaps for 2 accessories in the legs.
Right.
So he is not as complete as this, but I don't care about these accessories mainly because his the attachment piece looks like it's a laser gun, like how he had it in Armada. When Red Alert was in Armada, he had a laser gun for a hand, and so I kind of like think of that as an homage to his original Armada form. So I only got this for $5.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and that's it for me. So the rest is up to you.
Yeah, like I said, it's just I got a lot more than he did.
Yeah.
Not exciting, but it's still good. The other thing I picked up was a game called Metroid Fusion.
Okay.
Which is the very first GBA game my mom bought me for my Game Boy Advance when I got for Christmas. And that sucker is hard to play because it's really, really dark.
No backlight back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. And it's really fun because it's like Super Metroid, which is kind of like a weird Mega Man open world-ish kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And but instead you lose all your abilities because of a virus, like a parasite virus.
Okay.
And so you had to get your suit surgically removed and all that stuff. So they gave you like a Metroid vaccine, and now you have to go figure out why the Space Federation force places suddenly went quiet. It's because your the parasite virus thing transformed into your old
suit,
power suit, so it knows all your abilities from that suit.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
And your AI is somebody that is actually against you ultimately.
Well, he's not really against you. He's more working for the Federation than you.
Yeah.
Because you'll find out that the Federation's doing some shady stuff.
Okay, so
Not like they're bad people, but they're doing shady stuff. Like, you know how like the government's like, no, we want to save them, but they really want to use them for military weapons, kind of thing. Well, they're trying to raise Metroid for military weapons, and they want to take the parasites and make them into military weapons. The parasites, what they do is they kill their host, and then they transform into that host.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what they do. So it's the first, like I said, it's the first Game Boy Advance game my mom bought me for my Game Boy Advance when I had it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I loved the hell out of it to the point where the game just don't want to play anymore. And we found it for $69. So,
and you almost got $20 off of it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Now what I'm looking for at GBA now is for Zero Mission, which is a recreation of the first game.
Yeah, but it does have a map unlike the first game.
Yes.
Right? So.
You can't, for all you hip people out there, like me.
I'm just hip to be a square.
You can play this on your Switch, but you have to have like expansion packs the online pack for the Nintendo Switch, and it's one of their games you can download from their thing and play for free.
Okay.
I wanted it because I'm a physical collector.
Well, that and also it's one of your childhood favorite games.
Right.
So there's plenty of sentimental value to it.
Okay.
But I got nothing here. I'm done. I showed everything.
I got a handful of stuff.
So yeah, like I said, it's all up to you.
I got. I have no idea about this game because I found out my Super Nintendo died on me.
Yay!
It just died. Like it worked on one game, which I'll show you in a little bit. But then all of a sudden, after I put another game in, after I cleaned it and everything, it just no.
Nope.
I quit.
Hey, at least it's not as bad as the restaurant that we had. Wanted to play, what was it? Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you sure you want to play?
You want to play this?
Yes. Are you absolutely sure you want to play this? Yes. And then I played it, and then it just stopped working. Now it just works in constant fits, whatever it feels like.
Oh, this game's called Wizardry 6, I think. Heart of the Maelstrom. It's an RPG for Super Nintendo. Yes, I like RPGs. I do like other genres, don't get me wrong.
Like you like Mega Man
Yeah,
and Mario.
I like beat 'em ups and Mario and stuff, so. But my main jam is RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what it's about because, like I said, my Super Nintendo took a crap on me. Just literally died. So I'm looking forward to get a new console or a clone system if I ever find one. So,
Yeah.
that's about that game. Like I said, it's kind of cruddy because it came from a pawn store. So, that's one. Let's see. I picked up Final Fantasy VI, which is Final Fantasy III in America at that time. It came out sometime around 1990s.
Yeah, in the 90s.
The reason why it's Final Fantasy III is because, not Final Fantasy VI, is because they thought we were too stupid to understand RPGs at the time.
That, and also they had just at the Cheyenne telling it they came out with the first one for the Nintendo, right?
So, what we got is we got Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 5 and 6.
Well, yeah.
We didn't get
No, we
2,
got
3, and 4.
Should we?
Yeah, we didn't get those 3 at all.
Huh.
We got Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 5, and Final Fantasy 6.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 5 is Final Fantasy 2 for the Super Nintendo here.
Right. I thought it was like Final Fantasy 3 or something.
We
like
fixed
that.
it all up now. Now it's in order.
Yeah.
But back in the past when they released them.
Yeah, it was like back in the day when it went from 3 to 7. It's like, what? Did we miss something?
So, but we did also get Final Fantasy called Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Yeah.
Which was our baby RPG.
It wasn't even, I think that was, what was it? I want to say that was not even a Final Fantasy game. Was it?
When they
or am I thinking of a different Final Fantasy for the GB?
They did Final Fantasy Adventures, but that was the Secret of Mana series.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Like I said, they thought we were kind of stupid enough for a game. They released Mystic Quest for instead of the 2, 3, and 4. And they released a strategy guide with Mystic Quest. A simple game, a really super simple game, by the way. And they just didn't think we were really smart for that.
Okay.
But then they're like, well, yeah, they're smart enough, so we'll keep releasing them, but we're going to call it Final Fantasy 2 and 3 not to confuse us, either.
Right.
So that's why they're called 2 and 3 instead of 5 and 6. And that's why Final Fantasy 7 turned out to be Final Fantasy 7 on the PS1.
Which threw everybody for a loop.
Yep.
So, like, how did we miss that many?
Next game I have is one of my favorite games called John Mac, which is also called in, I believe, Japan and Europe, Caveman Ninja.
Caveman Ninja?
I don't know why there's no ninja in it, but it's really fun. It's more like a side-scroller action platformer where you play as 2 cavemen, like one for each player, and you fight cavemen that stole your women from the village, and after each stage, you get a boss battle.
Okay.
Like the first one, you get a boss battle that is a tyrant, a T-Rex.
Yeah. Isn't it like made out of little spheres too?
I'm sorry, what?
Isn't it like spheres in the body too? Like
Yeah,
it would stretch out and you would see these little spheres.
Some of them like that. But there's like a long neck boss that has this circle.
Yeah.
For a neck, and every time you smack them, they sound like they're smacking on bubblegum, like smacking it. So it's really fun, and I got it for like about $10.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it's worth. I really want to get the second one. The second one's more open-ended.
All right.
Like this one's more like, think of Super Mario Brothers 3 but it's caveman instead of Mario. So that's what it's kind of like.
Okay.
Only for Super Nintendo, by the way. In case you haven't heard that part. Next game I got was another Super Nintendo game, and I wanted it because I completed my collection. Is Earthworm Jim 2. Hard as balls. This is the last game I played my Super Nintendo want to play it, and it's like, I'm not going to play anything else. Just let me die. So it literally died. And I got it for about $40 from, like I said, Pawn thing.
Okay.
And it, of course, like I said, when you buy, I didn't say, like I said, but when you buy games from like pawn shop, clean them first.
You have to
Like, take alcohol, swab, clean them out, stuff like that. Just don't just put it in your system right when you get home, unless it's from like a game store, like game room, stuff like that.
Yeah, like a vintage game.
Because they have a clean game. The pawn shops don't clean them.
Yeah.
It's anyway, but Earthworm Jim 2, it's a really fun game. It's a continuation of the story from the first one, if there is a story. I mean, there is a story, but there is like weird story. And I highly recommend playing it. So, and I believe this is my last one.
Okay.
I think. Yep. I have a game for the Nintendo 64, which is F-Zero X. I always get a DX or GX, but it's F-Zero X for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I'm trying my absolute hardest to find games I want to get for the 64, but there's not very many games for the 64 I want to get. Because, like I said, I'm more of an RPG kind of guy, and the Nintendo 64 really barely has any RPGs, and the only other games I'd like to get, excuse me, is a game called Body Harvest, which is you're this like little guy in an orange outfit that you can shoot bugs and stuff, but you can also get in like cars and like it's like way before EDF, which is First Defense Force for PlayStation 4.
Right.
Where you fight all these giant ants and everything.
Right.
But this is way back before then, where you can fight like fighters, like giant cartoony looking fighters, so you know they're not real.
Mm-hmm.
And you can like fight them on foot, or you can fight them in a Tonka truck. I call them Tonka trucks, dump truck.
Oh yeah.
Or you can hide in buildings, stuff like that. So it's a unique game.
Yeah.
And like I said, other games I had 64 would be Castlevania games, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, F-Zero X is a racing game. It's Nintendo's own racing game. Like you know how like Nintendo owns Mario and Zelda?
Mm-hmm.
They own F-Zero. SD is X, you know, F-Zero X.
I'm surprised it's not called F-Zero 64.
They, that's what's kind of weird too. They went up to the GameCube, and then they haven't released another one since.
Well, it's like with a lot of these 64 games, they're always like something 64, and it's like
that's because
why is it X?
That's because they want everybody to know that Nintendo 64 has 64 bits of power.
Yeah, it just got kind of irritating. It's like instead of Mega Man Legacy, it was Mega Man 64.
They wanted companies to do, but they weren't telling people that all you have to do for every game.
Yeah.
So I got it for like $20.
Okay.
And it plays, it's fun, and stuff like that. It's hard as shit, though.
Yeah, the original one that I used to play for the Super Nintendo, I couldn't make heads or tails of what I was doing because by the time oh yeah, there's a turn, I'm already like
because
damaged.
It's one of those racing games where it's like you push A to go mile an hour.
Yeah.
You don't just go like, okay, it was 30, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. No, it's like, and you have a bar of health, so if you blow up, you're out of the race. 100%. And it has lives, because they give you like 3 chances to do the race again, and then you game over. So, that's the last I got.
So, I know it's been on your end, but any finishing thoughts that you might have?
I don't have any really big problems with the con. Like I said at the beginning, I wish they kind of said, hey, this is where you need to go if you're early bird special.
That, and also I think they should have like arrows, like if you want pictures, go to this area, if you want toys, go to that area, cards and stuff like that.
But other besides that, it was above, like slightly above average con.
Yeah.
Where it was a lot better than the last time I went.
Yeah.
Where they had a lot of rocks and weird glass stuff.
Yeah, it was all like porcelain dolls and weird stuff.
Like, we used to go to the mall that, like Katie said, is getting destroyed now. But we used to have like a lot of craft shows at the mall, and that's what they used to be.
Yeah.
But last time we went, it was like a whole bunch of that stuff there.
Yeah.
But this year it was like
a little bit better.
It was better, but it's still there.
Yeah, I just hated that they did have some tokusatsu stuff like Kamen Rider and Sentai stuff, but I couldn't get down because it was so far. It was like you almost had to lay on the ground as far down as it was, and I just couldn't do it. So and I didn't want to be like camping out on the thing, like, nope, don't want this, don't want this. Taking up more than my share space.
I would probably go again next time if I was asked.
Definitely.
But I wouldn't make it like a top priority.
Yeah, it just really depends because for priority for me, because like last year it sucked. The 2 years before that we went was amazing. This year was kind of just like weaker than the first. It was like
the middle road.
Yeah.
Like I had some problems, but it was more good. Not great, but it's good.
Yeah. And what kind of sucked is that they didn't initially announce that they had the voice actor to Donatello from the 80s cartoon.
Yeah, but they wouldn't tell us, like, there's like so many of them.
Yeah.
There's like the 1980s cartoon.
2011, 2003.
Cartoon, the Nickelodeon era, the stuff like that. It's just if you like Donatello from the Ninja Turtle. And I'm like,
which one?
Which one?
And then they're like, if you like Transformers, which one? You have almost 40 years of history there.
Like, if I knew it would probably like, well, geez, Ben and JD, if you took some time to study who they were, you probably know which ones they were.
Yeah, but it's just like, there's just so many.
Yeah, it's like, first, shut up, and second, that we were kind of like there for the con more than the...
Yeah, we were there for the purchasing than the guests. And it's just like what they could have done over the announcements. If you like Transformers Armada, where you heard Unicron, and also the voice actor to some other characters in Cybertron. If you're a fan of that, if you're into a fan of Date Ninja Turtles or something like that, like let us know what date they are when they were. Is it the original Donatello? Is it the current one? But no, they just said if you're a fan of cartoons such as those, it's like I'm just taking it as, yes, I know it was from Cybertron and Armada, the voice actor. It was just that they never specified who it was.
But all in fairness, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Nothing like severe, no severe thing like, well, we're never going to come back to next year or anything like that type of thing. It's just
that was me last year, though.
As also mentioned, they did have a video the day before con. Like, you go to the movie theater. Like, we have a town movie theater.
Yeah.
And here at our nice little city town.
Yes.
And they were showing off baseballs.
Yep.
With the Mel Brooks.
Really wanted to watch it. Problem is that
we do not like those chairs.
Yeah, those chairs are actually smaller than the first one we went to.
Our big butts would not sit in them.
Yeah, not even an average person could sit in them because they made them back to the 1940s or 1920s, something like that, where people were like thinner than the toothpick we consider people now.
And we're not, like I said, we're not being parent about that either.
It's just we couldn't watch it, so.
That's how dare you kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not like bend over backwards, you gotta accommodate us. Yeah. It's just we couldn't go because the seats.
So.
That's all we're saying.
I would give this time pretty much 3 to 5.
I'd say about 3.5. It was better than Master, which I would have said would have been definitely like a 1.5.
Yeah, to me at 2 is more odd, like average.
Yeah.
3 is more like above average for me, and
it's out of 5, right?
Like 4 and 5 is like, yeah, you definitely shouldn't.
Yeah, I'd say for an average con from what we've been to, I'd say 3.
Right.
With that said, I've been Nurdie J.
I've been Ben.
And we're the Nurdie Boyz, so we'll catch you next time.